Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast that makes ancient wisdom relevant today. I'm your host, Raghunath, with co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastubhadas. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is episode 1374, here live with Miss Mara spinning the dials. Kastubha's in New York City, and we just got back late last night from Vermont. What a great trip. A lot of bright lights in Vermont, Kastubha. A lot of great people.
Sounds like you had a good time up there, Raghu.
Yeah, and then us and Kishori Gopi and Shamya Pras went for a 22-mile bike ride around Lake Champlain.
Hold it.
We didn't quite make it
Last
around.
time you took such a long bike ride, it wore you down a little bit. You seem totally energized.
Yeah, I think I got a little stronger. I feel great from it.
All right.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Maybe it was too hot last time, I think. This was better weather, maybe.
We did have nice
maybe we got dehydrated.
It was my first day out on a long bike ride. So, yeah.
Right.
So anyway, feeling good, and good association, and makes all the difference. You know, it's just like we say, it's like you become like who you hang out with. And that's why having a bhakti community wherever you go is so important, because you need people you can check in with on a regular basis. And we were saying that, it's why we did the podcast originally. Mm-hmm. More than anybody else, I needed to check in with the Bhagavatam on a regular basis. We need some accountability. It's good and healthy to have positive spiritual accountability on a regular basis. That's how we change. That's how we grow, right? By checking in with wisdom literature on a regular basis. Friends that want to lift you higher, friends that want to lift you up instead of dragging you down. I think it's safe to say we all have a couple of those friends that drag us down. We got to learn who to friend and who to unfriend, and who to follow and who to unfollow in this world.
But that's how it all started. You had just a handful, 5 or 6 people or something like that. Mara was one of them, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Started just like conversational. We'd give a little
get
class
together
every
5
morning,
a.m.
5
on
a.m.
Zoom.
And then we started getting bigger with some the yoga students. We started going through the Bhagavatam, the Super Soul Sacred Sangha, before Zoom was a thing. And then we had that up to 80 people every morning just from yoga students and hardcore people. And then Kastubha jumped in. Then we started doing it. And then 2020, January 1st, we said, let's just turn this whole darn thing into a podcast. And that was the birth of Wisdom of the Sages.
Wisdom of the Sages. There you go.
A little history.
Okay. Little Wisdom of the Sages history for you.
You know how else we used to get people to get into it?
You used to
Mara,
prop your phone up.
She would hold the phone up. This is before we even had Zoom, I think. You just hold my phone up on Instagram Live.
Oh,
and
I
then
thought
people
you
would
started on
join.
Zoom.
Yeah, I think we were also.
Oh, maybe we're also on Zoom, but she'd hold up the phone on Instagram Live. And
normally you would prop it up against like a coffee mug, and then it was
so unpro, but it doesn't matter. People join. That's how Shaunak Arishi, the vegan trucker, joined.
And Aramar joined.
And Aramar joined that way from Instagram too.
I think Bhaktivedanta.
I know who that Johnny Rick is. Okay, this is the spiritual dentist couple up there, the Jitkas. Yes, now I get it. I'm watching people on Zoom here.
Okay, pull it together.
Transcendentalists. I'm sure they heard that before. Okay.
Mara,
what's going on? We have some news today.
Yeah. Well, we have a picnic at Central Park this Sunday, 4 to 7 p.m.
All right. If you're in the New York City area, come on down. Central Park. Where's it going to be in Central Park? It's a big park, Kastubha.
It's a place called Cherry Hill, but the easiest way to find it, I'd say, is the Bow Bridge is a very famous bridge, and it's just immediately south of the Bow Bridge.
Never heard of either one of them.
Immediately west of the Bethesda Fountain. So you enter at 72nd Street, and then you go towards the middle of the park.
Like west 72nd Street?
Or east, either way, because, west is the closest, but east or west is fine.
Okay.
And there's a little map. If you go to Bhakti Centers, if you go on we posted about it, maybe I'll post about it again. But on the Wisdom of the Sages for I don't know if only the subscribers can see that area, but we have a little map there. But if you go to bhakticenter.org and find Bhakti Center Community Picnic, and there's our little logo is on the image as well. You click on that, it'll give you all the information. It's kind of a potluck thing, and also it has a map there too on that page.
Okay, so basically you go through 72nd Street and ask for the Bethesda Fountain, you said?
Well, it's called Cherry Hill, but again,
Cherry
it's
Hill.
just south of the Bow Bridge. Like it overlooks the Bow Bridge. It's a hill that overlooks the Bow Bridge, or just west of the Bethesda Fountain.
Bethesda. Okay, gotcha.
So we'll all
All right,
be
great.
there.
We're looking forward to
and
seeing
a lot
everyone.
of
We're gonna
Bhakti
make
Center
the
people.
trip out. We're gonna make the trip down there. We're gonna bring bicycles, I think.
Oh,
We're
Gonna do a
bike around
bicycle
the
riding?
park a few yeah.
great.
Bike
Look
around
at
the
you
park.
guys.
And we're gonna
Look
have
at
some
you.
kirtan there. We like to sing, and we'll have some potluck there. Prasadam potluck. Should they
Okay.
cook the to Lord Krishna?
Yeah, there's some instructions. If you go to that website, it says, no onions, garlic, obviously meat, fish, or
No eggs. Okay.
Offer it up.
Okay. That's good. And if you don't, you can also bring a bag of corn chips, whatever you. If you can't bring anything, we still want.
Someone just brought that standard down big time.
Here's a deal. If people
Right.
sometimes want to
Here's the
contribute stuff,
deal.
but they don't have time to cook,
All right.
not everybody is going to be able to cook something. But we
Okay.
just want to let you know everybody's welcome. And if you bring corn chips, because
I think Raghunath wants corn chips.
Your corn
I think
chips.
that's what this is about. Raghunath said, I don't buy them anymore, but hey, if you guys want to bring some corn chips, it's really okay. As a matter of fact, it's appreciated.
It's appreciated.
Yeah, frisbees.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to a picnic. And what time is it?
4 to 7 p.m.
4 to 7. Maybe I'll go out there a little bit earlier.
Okay.
It's kind of nice. That's kind of the nicest hours, It's not too
I'm going
hot.
to bring my kids too.
Yeah, bring the kids. Be careful. Last time you went biking like this at Central Park, I think Tarun went over the handlebars.
Oh, yeah. Remember that?
No.
He just flew. I can't remember what happened. Flew over the handlebars, completely uninjured. Somehow landed on his feet, but it was a total wipeout.
Scary.
That's a Christian miracle right there.
It's a Christian miracle, yeah.
Okay.
I have some
Other
other
announcements?
announcements too.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
have Bhakti Recovery Group, a men's meeting at 10:30 a.m. Then a meeting for everyone, a step work meeting at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time today. We also have launched our new online community platform. So instead of using 5 different apps to get every benefit of being a supporting member, you can find the chat, classes, merch, upcoming events, and retreat registration, and more, all in one place.
And
So
I
we're
think episode 8 of my series that we did in the Eco
India.
Village drops today.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah. So we're community supported, and we're grateful for everyone who subscribes so we can continue to dedicate the time to produce quality content. You can find that at wisdomofthesages.com.
All righty.
Kimmy Carroll's asking, can we bring lawn darts and the old school kind? Yeah, bring the
Lawn darts,
long
sure.
darts.
Yeah.
Things are starting to get interesting.
There's going to be a wrestling match too.
Oh yeah, that's Greg DeGase's got the map. Oh, he put the map up there.
Oh, thank you.
Meet here. It's got the big dot. You want to take a look at that, Raghunath? You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. I'll be riding my bike around. I'm not sweating it. I'll find you guys.
All
All right, Kastuba.
Let's get into the
Kastuba
nugget.
loves this. He loves walking outside that house and have a whole bunch of devotees right there.
It's nice.
It's
I bumped into devotees. I bumped into devotees.
Bumping into devotees?
Yeah.
Devotees are all over New York City. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, they always pop up.
They're peppered around New York City.
Yeah.
Old ones too. Sometimes old school devotees, like Swami, just like that. If you go to New York City, you will meet like old school devotees, just like walking the streets, and they'll just say something.
Just was it the day before yesterday? I was, I had these Bhakti Center board meetings.
Yeah.
Full day things. And so I wasn't able to chant my rounds the past days until like 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. And I'd just go to the park and chant.
Mm-hmm.
And I bumped into, I feel really bad because I'm forgetting her name now, but it's a wonderful Prabhupada disciple, I believe, lady from New Vrindavan. And I always bump into her in Mayapur when I'm walking around. And she says, I listen to Wisdom Sages. I love Wisdom Sages. She leads tours around Mayapur, like Tara does. And I was just walking through the park chanting. I bumped into her in Central Park, just like we always bump into each other when we're walking around Mayapur. I was like, oh, this is great.
My crazy story was, and I'm going to tell, I might have told it a long time ago, but when I was just stopped being a brahmachari, they needed someone to live at 26 Second Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to move into 26 Second Avenue. I got to live there for like 7 months.
You lived there for 7 months. That's incredible.
I gave class every day.
Really?
You know, I set up programs every day. And then I had one brahmachari I was training, and there was no shower, so we'd have to stand in a like, ever see those, like, what are those black buckets called they use in
bus tub?
A bus tub.
Bus tub.
A bus tub. We'd stand in a bus tub and pour a jug of water over our head. That's how we'd shower. And then every morning, our morning program was to do Harinam. That means just walking through streets and chanting Hare Krishna, me and this young brahmachari. And we'd go to Tompkins Square Park, sit under the tree. We'd read the Bhagavad Gita, and then we'd chant Harinam all the way back. That was our morning rituals. And one day, it was
here we go.
It was super quiet on the street. You know how New York City, the big, on garbage day, there's big stack of garbage. And so we're walking by one of these big stacks of garbage, and I heard the garbage rustling. And sometimes you do, because there's a rat in the garbage or something. But all of a sudden, a man jumps out of the garbage pile, and he scared the heck out of us. And he heard us chanting, and he goes, "Hey, where's the Swami?" It was like this homeless man living just sleeping on this garbage pile. He goes, "Where's the Swami? Where's the Swami?" I was like, "Who? You mean Bhaktivedanta Swami?" He goes, "Yes, the Indian Swami." Because we were right around from 26 Second Avenue. He goes, "You know, I said, well, the Swami, he died many years ago." He goes, and he stopped and he said, "You know, I used to know the Swami. I used to go with him all the way down this road to the park. I used to help him carry big pots, and we'd feed people in the park." I was like, yeah, it was really out of this world. And then he said to me, one day I was this is happening at like 5 a.m. in the morning. He goes, "One day I was carrying this big pot. I don't know what it was. It was like a pot of syrup with these balls, floating balls in it." I was like, "Oh, a glove jummins."
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And he goes, "I was carrying this big pot of floating balls. And when I got to the park and I put it down, and you know what? The Swami took one of those balls and put it right in my mouth." Isn't that an incredible story? The Swami just said, "Here you go. Did you get a Prabhupada? Put a glove." These people are still all around New York City. Lots of interesting stories.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Nugget.
Here's the nugget for today, everybody.
Who's it from?
Oh, by the way, congratulations to Kelly Becker, winner of the Merch Monday tote bag.
There you go, Kelly Becker.
Kelly Becker, hitting it. All right. When you realize there is nothing
who's this
lacking.
coming from?
This is from Lao Tzu.
Now read it slow. It's really short when you go slow.
Lao Tzu. Ready?
Yeah.
When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you.
Oh. The world could be yours. You just have to realize that nothing's lacking. What do you make of that?
I make it as the same thing like the Buddha said. It's our desires that cause our suffering in this world. In Bhakti, we get that desires cause our suffering, but we refine it even more. We say our material desires. We distinguish, because the soul itself desires. You can't just like, like sometimes you try to catch a bug in the house without killing it. So you put a cup over it. You just can't put a cup over your desires, because the soul wants to desire. We just refine the desire. So we say, it's okay, desire Krishna, desire, I want to go to Vrindavan. I want to serve the devotees. I want good association. You can't just say, okay, I'm not going to eat now because I desire food. I want to eat food that's been offered to Krishna. Therefore, all our desires are connected with our bhakti and with our love. It's nice to think we can just snuff them out. You can't. You can minimize them, that's for sure, but we still have desires. So we say, perfect our desire. That's a shelter record. Perfection of desire, not killing desire.
But how does that mean that nothing is lacking?
Nothing is Well, because the idea is that we think by getting, I'll be fulfilled. But one with uncontrolled desires, there's nothing you can give them that will fulfill them. So desires are like a fire. You blow on it, it goes away, right? Trying to fulfill your desires. You blow on it, the fire goes down, and then it flames back up. Boy Scouts know this.
But I'm still lacking.
Campfires. Huh?
But it seems like I'm still lacking.
You'll always be lacking if your desires are out of control. Okay. You're always So once you control your desires, you realize
there's nothing lacking.
I've got what I need here.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Yeah. No, who was Lao Tzu, by the way?
I don't know.
According to Wikipedia, he's a semi-legendary ancient Chinese philosopher. What do you mean semi-legendary?
Semi-legendary.
Either give the guy credit or not.
Amongst a few people.
Does that mean
you know what? It's almost like Wikipedia's got an attitude.
I think it means like
he's sort of semi-legendary.
I think it means like his legend is kind of like half fictional and half real or something.
Oh, maybe.
That's what I think it means. But the way it sounds is like he's semi-legendary. Like he's not quite on legendary status, but he's almost there.
Right.
But he's a semi-legendary ancient Chinese philosopher. He's the author of the Tao Te Ching, which is the foundational text of Taoism.
There's always been wise people.
Yeah, very wise. Well, actually,
through the cultures.
Lao Tzu is a Chinese honorific, typically translated as the old master.
That name doesn't translate well. Lao Tzu.
Lao Tzu. I gotta say it a little different. But yeah, this made me think a little bit of that of the invocation to the Ishopanishad, Om Purnam Adaha Purnam Idam.
Mm-hmm.
That that the personality God, it is perfect and complete, and because He's completely perfect, all emanations from Him, such as this phenomenal world, the world that we live in, is perfectly equipped as a complete whole. And whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. In others, we think, like someone may be sitting in a prison saying, "Oh, there's a lot lacking here," like there's no freedom here, and someone would say, well, no, it's actually perfectly designed. Ideally, it would be, right? It's perfectly, it's not lacking anything. It's designed exactly for where you're at, and once you kind of realize it, you'll realize that this is an asset, right? Like that, I think that's kind of the point is when we realize nothing's lacking, when we realize that there's no external thing that I need to be happy, to be satisfied, that it's all within me. At that point, everything in the world, whether we have a lot or a little of external things, it becomes our asset. Even the problematic things become our asset. Like in one sense, the prison is an asset for the prisoner if it's reforming him. And so when we realize that nothing's like, and that realization is something that comes only like in a particular state of mind. And the Bhagavad Gita is so clear on this, right? Like if we go to the 14th chapter and we read about the different modes of nature, the different influences, 3 different influences that this world primarily kind of is throwing at us. And we have to choose carefully, like what we connect with because it influences us. But if we can connect with that sattva guna, the mode of goodness, in the Bhagavad Gita, the 14th chapter, the 6th text, it says, being pure, the mode of goodness, the sattva guna, being purer than the others is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions, from all your bad karma. Those situated in that mode, they become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge, right? They become sukha. Sukha means like happiness, ease, comfort, contentment, like that, and knowledge. And when you're in that state, when you're not hankering for something external, then you can see things as they are. Kind of the fever goes down, and suddenly, like sometimes someone's like all hyped up about it, so you say, hey, take a few deep breaths, calm it down. And then they could begin to see, okay, there's a way out of this, or okay, it's not that bad, But when you're all hyped up, then you're confused. And the next text, 14:7, says, it speaks of the Rajaguna, the mode of passion. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires. and longings.
Mm-hmm.
O Arjuna, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to fruitive actions. It means we get caught up in the system, and we actually, and it leads to misery, you know.
Sure.
So
There's
yeah,
actions, even activities or sports or hobbies that are in the mode of passion. They might not be. It's not like they're evil or something, but you know,
it's
like the
going to
bright light.
condition your mind in a
The
particular
bright
way.
light was telling me, you know, she was like a downhill, you know, like a
Skier?
racing, an Olympic, junior Olympic
Slalom?
race. I don't know what she did, but
Does
some
she do ski
crazy,
jumping?
crazy skiing stuff. Broke her
I could
femur.
see her ski jumping. I could see her
Yeah,
flying through the
she
sky.
broke her femur. Like
Ooh.
femur is like that's the most painful break you could get, and you got to really hit it
Where's
hard
the
to break
femur?
it. It's the big one, the big one.
The
The
thigh
big
bone.
leg? Huh?
Yeah, in the leg, big thigh bone. But
Yeah.
it's sort of like you never hear somebody will like, you know, I got a really bad gardening injury. You know, it's like, those aren't coming up from the
Right.
mode of goodness. You don't get some type of distress generally to the
Right.
degree that they are passionate activities. Like I said, not evil, but all these kids doing like mountain biking really fast through the mountains, up on curves. It's fun in the mode of passion, and therefore the payoff is there's some distress there. You break bones,
Yeah.
and what to speak of the mode of pleasure and the mode of ignorance. There's even a bigger a bigger downside, a bigger return.
And it's not just like external like that, but it's just like your inner state, right? Like when you are hankering for something that you don't, sattva guna means I'm content, everything's okay,
Sure.
I've got what I need. When you're in the mode of passion, it means like I'm not satisfied, there's something that I don't have, there's something I got to get. I'm not going to be satisfied until I get it. And you never get satisfied. You just keep.
You need a rush. You need a rush, Kastuba.
A rush. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that there's nonstop reels about, like people doing this stuff. And I'm like, in one sense, it's impressive. In another sense, what the hell? You could have used that energy in such a better way. You know, how much time did you spend learning how to do that dumb trick on the bike?
I'm glad they did it. I'm just
when you're a kid, you do that kind of stuff. You actually kind of grow from it in a certain way, perhaps,
Yeah.
right? But when you're an adult, it's kind of like that energy is meant to be engaged in some higher way now, you know?
We were at this beautiful waterfalls, and there was one, like the kid must have been 10 years old. I mean, I jumped off. Me and Shamya Pras jumped off into the beautiful clear river, the Mad River Creek. But this one like 10-year-old kid just climbed a cliff. And just the climb itself, I was like, this kid's gonna kill himself. And he jumped off, like barely escaping death. And if any tragedy happened, it would have ruined everybody's day. Now, I would have been traumatized watching a guy get traumatized. And that's just like, that's the game in the mode of passion. There's some results from the happiness in the mode of passion. And where is it? It's oftentimes in the mind, oftentimes, not all the time, it's for an ego payoff. Like, would you do it if nobody was watching? Or maybe not.
Okay.
Huh?
Thank you.
What's a good pleasure in the mode of ignorance, Kastuba?
Well, intoxication is a big one. Sleep.
Intoxicants is a great pleasure.
Sleep.
Very pleasurable, and it can dismantle your life.
All right.
All right.
Okay, Raga. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Shall we move on to our mantras?
My pleasure when you get north of 50, pleasures become different.
Do they?
Yeah, it's like tree identification, bird identification. Let's go for a walk. How'd you sleep last night? Oh, I slept good. It's pretty boring. The mode of goodness is pretty damn boring, I will say. But it's nice. It's pleasant.
It's boring only if you're in the mode of passion.
I'm in the mode of passion. I'm like, I'm getting so boring. Mara's there knitting. She's like, let's go for another walk. I was like, okay, I'm bored, but I know this is good for me.
Okay, pull it together right now. Let's keep this moving forward.
Good morning, Rocco. You're up early today.
No, he couldn't keep it going.
Rocco's here. Okay. All right. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Preshva Badreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Midatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 13, Text 23. It's the story of the Python man meets Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad is all grown up. He's a king walking through the forest, meets this sadhu. Matter of fact, he points out a particular sadhu who appears to be sort of like this unhomed man laying on the ground, disheveled. And then he inquires from him, and he realizes that he already could tell, but the man starts speaking words of wisdom.
Yeah. You know what he does first is, Prahlad's like, tell me about yourself. What are you all about? You've got something. I want to hear from you. And although he appears like he wouldn't have anything to offer, he immediately begins to speak in a very cultured way. And at the first 3 verses, he's just praising Prahlad. Like he's saying, because you're engaged in Kevala Bhakti, like unalloyed devotion, without any selfish desires whatsoever, I can tell that's where you're at. And because you're like that, you see everything. You understand exactly who. Most people walk right past me. They don't have a clue what I'm all about. You cued, right. You just honed right in on me. And he's going to have one more verse where he's praising Prahlad, and then he's going to start to drop the knowledge. Drop it.
Let's hear what the Python man says. So here's going to glorify Prahlad. My dear king, although you know everything, you have posed some questions, which I shall try to answer according to what I have learned by hearing from authorities. There's always this idea that knowledge is descending. It's not just like, I'm very smart. This is what we have in culture today. We're very deep. We're very smart. And we're just speculating about the universe. Here he is, a wise man, but he's hearing, this is what's coming down. Knowledge descends, actually.
Raghunath, actually the word that's used here is yata shrutam, which means like, and this is something we've been talking about lately, right? It's like the shruti means what you hear, but it also refers to that which has been heard, right? The shruti, it means in contrast to like, that's what's been created, by people, is that there's this vibration moving throughout the universe, and the Veda, this knowledge. And he's saying, what I'm going to share with you is connected to that. It's like, it's not something I'm making up. It's not something I wrote my own self-help book about, or these are my own realizations.
Here's my own commentary on the Yoga Sutras. It's not that.
Yeah. Prabhupada writes this. He says, the words yata shrutam refer to Vedic knowledge, right? That vibration, that eternal vibration. The Vedas are known as shruti because this knowledge is received from authorities. The statements of the Vedas are known as shruti pramana. They're proof themselves, right? They're like flawless knowledge. One should quote evidence from the shruti, the Vedas, or Vedic literature, and then one's statements will be correct. Otherwise, one's words will proceed from mental concoction. So there's just a different value placed on them. It's
part of this culture is you can't just make deep philosophical statements. If you do, someone has the right to say, well, where'd you hear that from?
Where'd you get that from?
Where'd you get that from? You can't, well, I just thought about it. It's my own realization. We don't want to.
He's like, I'm not giving you that kind of stuff.
Even the great masters, they'll speak, but they'll reference it to,
this is
Bhishma spoke of this.
This is also a commentary Prabhupada wrote to Bhagavad Gita 7:15, which is the verse about the austerity of speech. Right? Wise people are very careful about how they speak, what words they use, the effect that it has, where it comes from. Austerity of speech consists in speaking truthfully and beneficially, and in in avoiding speech that offends.
Mm-hmm.
And one should also recite the Vedas regularly. But here in the commentary, probably going to take, like when he says that, it makes it sound like, oh, you mean you're supposed to pick up the book and chant the mantras, and that's there for sure. But Prabhupada also takes it a step further in the commentary, saying to recite the Vedas regularly means what you say should be connected to that Vedic. It should be the Vedic truths, right? So this is what he writes. He says, one should not speak in such a way as to agitate the minds of others. That's one thing. Of course, when a teacher speaks, he can speak the truth for the instruction of his students. In other words, a guru may speak to a disciple in a way like, hey, we got a problem here, you got to straighten up. But such a teacher should not speak to others who are not his students if he will agitate their minds. This penance, as far as talking is penance as far as talking is concerned. And then he says this, he says, besides that, one should not talk nonsense. When speaking in spiritual circles, one's statements must be upheld by Scripture. One should at once quote from the scriptural authority to back up what he is saying. So that's the tradition. That's what it means to speak in the yoga tradition, not just like people are just throwing out any kind of new age mumbo jumbo. No. You have to learn this stuff, and you say something with confidence when you have understood it clearly from these sacred texts, which are a vibration on a whole different level. Okay. All right.
Continuing on. I cannot remain silent in this regard, for a personality like you is just fit to be spoken to by one who desires self-purification. That's our idea. We're working on purifying the subtle body.
Right.
Because of insatiable material desires, isn't that?
Actually, the next 11 verses.
Yeah.
These are all about the futility of trying to find happiness through external things.
Been there, done that. Check.
Okay.
Because of insatiable material desires, I was being carried away by the waves of material nature's laws, and thus I was engaged in different activities, struggling for existence in various forms of life.
Okay, various forms of life. So this is
it's like one desire leads to another desire, leads to another desire,
leads to transmigration into different bodies.
Yeah, well, that's species. Ultimately, but even in this life, even if you don't believe in you get another body, you know what I mean? If that sounds too lofty for you, come on, we could see.
But that's what he's saying here, right?
I do understand.
This is zoomed out.
I do understand the zoomed out, but I'm saying there's some people might drop into the show and like, I don't believe in that. Oh yeah, well, unlimited desires causes pain anyway. It's exhaustion. It takes resources, time, energy, and for what? Is it actually fulfilling, or is it a hope to have some joy? It's not actually joy necessarily. It's a hope to enjoy. You know, no matter. I was just telling Mara this.
What were you telling?
Mara gets mad when I go on a rant, but usually when I'm driving, I start ranting about things.
What do you start to rant about?
Well, I just rant about. We're going for a bike ride, and I'm just like, I'm getting sick of these like. You go into a bike store to fix a flat or something, and they're trying to sell you, hey, you can check out this helmet. It's like thousands of different helmets, thousands of different biking shirts, thousands of different biking shorts, thousands of different.
Sick of it.
It's just I'm sick of. Okay, do I have to dress like a clown just to ride my bike down the road? Give me a break. Everyone's just trying to sell me stuff, and I'm sick of it. And
he's ranting.
Biking gloves. It's trying. Yes. Forget transmigration down. It's just like, and they try to sell you, and then I'm gonna have this this tight boob hugging shirt I have to wear.
What do you say to him when he's like this? How do you slow him down?
She's like, okay. She's like, what do you say to me? Shut me up.
I don't know. What do I say?
Now you're just like, oh, here he goes with the bicycling, anti-bicycling consumerism.
Usually I point out that he doesn't actually hate all of that stuff.
Nobody's forcing you to buy anything. It's okay.
It's just like this is how America works. We just get into consumer hobbies where I need this type of gloves and these type of spokes and these type of grips and these type of gloves. It's just like, let's ride a bike, damn it. Instead of like, give me the whole, if I have this and I'll look cooler in this.
That's their business, Raghunath. That's
I know it's a business. It's just like, just let us enjoy it.
You do
And
I can't breathe.
bicycling gloves.
I do have bicycling gloves, but you could fall. That's why I got them.
Bicycling shorts.
I do, but they pad my butt. I don't
bicycling
need
helmet
for your helmet. There's practical
fancy
stuff.
bicycle shoes. You bought in. That's why you're so upset.
Anyway, it's a thing. It's a thing. All I'm saying is.
Okay. Oh, let's just work it out right here, Raghunath. You feeling better? I feel better.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay. So
it doesn't even become about the bike ride anymore. It's just the stuff that goes with it.
And then you never use it. You know what? It's true, Raghunath, because when I came back,
and some people I use it. I need lots of stuff.
No, but listen to this. When I came back, I spent 5 months in India. I came back, it was mid-March, still cold out. And I said, I need some gloves for when I'm riding a bike.
Oh, forget it. That's a whole thing. Gloves.
You go into one of those bike shops, it's like $45.
Fingers, no fingers, padded.
You know what I did, Raghunath? I just walked in the hardware store. And for like $3.50, I got a great pair of gloves for it. Totally suitable.
Everything's tech. You need tech. You want to go in hiking? Okay, great. You need these pants. You need these pants with all these zippers on them. Zip off the legs.
And people would even look.
Their sweat. The sweat takes the sweat out of your body and puts it on the extra.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, people.
It's wicking it off, Raghunath. They're wicking it.
Yeah. Now.
But even people would look at those gloves that I'm wearing and they say, oh, wow, where'd you get those cool biking gloves? They could have charged $45 for these gloves. It's not like in the bike shop they had any kind of special expensive ingredients that they were using, It's just people are like, yeah, you're gonna use these to paint the house,
I guess you were riding around a city bike with gardening gloves. I wish I had that picture.
No, it works. Okay. Now, so this point again was that he was saying what Raghunath is saying, but he was also saying from the zoomed out level, he was saying beforehand, before I was in the condition I'm in now, people are looking at me like I'm unfortunate. Actually, I finally figured life out, right? I was transmigrating from one body to another. It was desires that were causing the transmigration, moving me from one body to another over the course of lifetimes.
Yeah, this is the big zoom out. It's not just like you're getting pulled around by your desires. Okay, I'm into this hobby, this guy, this girl, this apartment, that home, that lawn, that car.
Okay.
That's this lifetime. Then there's a bigger picture where your desires are creating a body. Weird to think of it like that, but you like your body you got, or you don't like it. Cow. Guess what? You chose it.
Right. Remember that,
right? Isn't that interesting to think?
You chose it.
You chose this body by your choices. Now, some people say, "Oh no, I didn't. Why would I choose this body?" Oh, come on. For example,
that's what you wanted, but your karma only got you up to that level.
Yeah. Sometimes people overeat. And they don't want to be heavy, but you're overeating. So we're choosing in a lot of ways the body that we get. Some people want to choose a healthy body, so they make choices that gives a healthy body. So we're choosing by our choices. And so the Bhagavatam is about refining your choices for tomorrow and the next week and the next life.
Do you remember the Seinfeld where Kramer was like kind of posing as like a acting teacher, and he's got like the whole crowd around him. They're convinced that he really knows what he's talking about. Yes. And he's like, I don't try to think. I just connect the emotions to colors, so I don't have to think of the emotion. I just think blue, red, yellow. They're all like, oh my god. And then someone walks up like, who are you? What are you doing here? But
what does that have to do with?
Because it's like this. We're shifting, right? It's like. No, I'm tying it in, Raghunath. It's according to these desires that we're shift. So we're going like dog, tree, cow, platypus, man. But the thing is this: in that cycle, then you finally hit human. Mm-hmm. And when you have to hit that human stage, that's the junction. That's the opportunity, and that's what he's going to talk about now.
That's like when you pull into the train station, and the train can go in so many different directions. That's the human birth.
Yeah, you can really, you got the opportunity to the best opportunity you're going to have to start to direct this yourself, to break the cycle.
the interesting thing is, in this lifetime, whatever hobby you get into, it's generally not like for example, bicycling. It's generally a whole thing. It's like going into a junction that has so many other doors or something.
Here comes the ramp.
Backpacking or dance or whatever you're into. But you got to be careful about that initial first choice, because there's a whole culture that comes with that hobby. And sometimes that culture won't necessarily serve your sattva guna.
So there's always a big choice that leads down to many more.
Many more choices.
That's why it's so important. This is one lesson I learned in life early on from good teachers.
Tell me a lesson, Buddha.
Particularly when it comes, you can call me Lao Tzu if you
Lao Tzu, tell me a lesson.
There are certain decisions you make in life.
Yeah.
That are the big junctures.
Yeah.
Marriage obviously is one of them.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Your workplace.
Your occupation.
It's a big one.
Yeah, I'm going to work. I'm going to be here for the next 10, 15 years. This is a big decision, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you work there and you just can't get out of there.
Sometimes we move locations. We move from one place in the country to another.
You know how many people come to changing locations where you're going to live? Some people come to me and it's like, you know what? I've been working in a bar for 10 years and I got to get out of here. Okay. It's like, but I can't. I need the tips. You know what I mean? And you get tough and you get used to that standard of living, but they don't like the environment. I hear that a lot. The workplace is a big one, Kastuba. I like where you're going with this whole thing.
Okay.
Keep going. I'm going to jump in again, of course, but keep going.
You just cue up that rant. I'm going to set you up for it, okay? Right. Get ready. Take a deep breath. I'll take it for a second. You get ready. So when it comes to decisions in life, particularly these important forks in the road, that's where you want to get the blessings of the Vaishnavas that you respect, those people that are deeply spiritual, that you say, these are level-headed people with good insight that I know care about me, that I know have my best interest in mind, that I know are seeing this from a higher perspective than I can see it due to their wisdom and due to their their from being a step out of it. My own vision of the decision may be clouded by my circumstances, my desires. They're going to be able to view this through the eyes of Shastra better than I am. Let me get their blessings. Let me see what they think about it. Very important. Big choices, seek the blessings. You with me?
Yes.
What are you
I'm sorry,
I'm trying to make this whole point. You asked me to do this whole thing.
There was a chicken in the house.
A chicken?
There was a chicken in the house.
Okay.
And I didn't even realize until someone wrote it on the message board.
All right. That's a reasonable excuse. There was a chicken in the house.
I once came in the house once and a chicken was sitting on the chair. And I was like, get out of here. And I chased him out and there was an egg on the chair. He left it.
Get out of here. For real?
Yeah, it was real.
He came into your house to lay the egg.
Laid an egg. It was just like, it was sort of like just keeping it warm. And I lifted him up. I threw him out and he had an egg on the chair.
Okay, rugged. Did you hear anything I said?
Not really.
Should I say it again?
No, because everyone else heard it, but I'm sure it
no,
was
but
wonderful.
I wanted your response to it. I'll say it quickly.
Seek the blessings of Vaishnavas at forks in the road.
Big forks in the road. There you
go. Yes, that's important. That's important. Whenever there's a big fork, I say, I call the Vaishnavas who I respect and I trust, and I say, this is what I think. What do you think?
I did that with you just the other day, didn't I, Raghunath? I called you up on Sunday.
He called me up.
I need your blessings.
He said, I need your blessings. And I was like, no, you cannot do that. That's illegal, Kastuba. I don't know what you're thinking. Just joking. He asked me a deep philosophical.
I asked for his blessings.
And I showered blessings upon him.
You did.
Yes.
And I seeked it from others too. I went around and
good.
People that were important.
Put us on the spot.
Yeah. All right, that's a big one. Okay, so human life is the junction. Let's hear what the Python Man has to say about this.
In the course of the evolutionary process, which is caused by fruitive activities, that statement alone, what we just read, is so thick and heavy. Listen again. In the course.
Why don't you translate fruitive activities first?
Well, first let's translate the evolutionary process, like where the soul is going in this world. Like some of you guys in the workplace, you're up higher in the workplace. Okay, in the course of evolutionary process, you're growing, you're thinking different, but sometimes we go down in our thinking process. And then at the time of death, we're either going down or we're going up. In the course of our evolutionary process, where our consciousness is at.
Which is caused.
And how do you get that way? It's caused by your fruitive activities. Like, I'm working for this.
Okay.
When you work for something, that's called a fruitive activity.
For something external, material, pleasure in life, comfort in life, whatever.
An activity that has some fruit at the end of it.
Yeah.
Due to, and what are these?
Do the whole thing
How do you
again.
get these fruitive
Whole
activities?
sentence again.
In the course of evolutionary process, which is caused by fruitive activities, due to undesirable material sense gratification.
I think I need something external, satisfy my senses.
I've received this human form of life. Wait, so is he saying he had bad desires and he got this body?
He's saying that I got stuck in the system because of my fruitive desires, and then that system is sending you through.
That's a good body, a human body.
Well, no. But he's saying, so I went down, and then the system gradually evolves you back up to human.
Okay. All right.
That's where he is now.
Yep. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Stopped. You're like, and that's where he is now.
That's where he is now. Well, I thought you were going to continue the verse.
Okay. I have received this human form of life, which can lead to heavenly planets, to liberation, to the lower species.
Yeah.
Or to rebirth amongst human beings.
Okay. So when he was in the dog body, those options weren't open. He's just going to evolve to the next level. When he was in the tree body, he can't choose to go to the heavenly planets, to liberation. He's just going to go up the next step. It's like a automatic system. But when you get to the human form, that's the juncture. That's where you've got the power in your hands to decide where you're going to go.
Now, just to pop the bubble of those who are new to the show and new to this understanding of reincarnation, don't start thinking, well, no, I want to be a bird. I want to be a swan. I want to be a dove. You do not want to be a dove.
Raghunath, what do you have to turn people onto so that this will be very clear? One simple Instagram account.
Well, here's the deal.
Nature's metal.
You could just go in my front yard, and sometimes you'll see a hawk hunting birds. You want to be a bird?
Raghunath,
careful.
There's tell you about nature's
living
metal.
beings trying to kill you at every. Just study animals in the wild. They live in a constant state of fear, even if.
Let me tell you.
Even at the top of the food chain.
I don't know if you saw this nature's metal clip the other day, Raghunath. There's a bird sitting in a tree. There's a hole in the tree.
And the snake going into the tree hole?
The bird is watching that snake go right into the hole where its eggs are or its children are.
Yeah, and it starts pecking at the snake.
It's pecking at the snake, but it's too late. The snake's head is in there and it's eaten. The snake goes the whole way in the hole. Then the snake comes out of the hole. It's already too late.
He pecked the snake out of the hole.
Then
he's dragged the snake to the bottom, and then the snake kills him.
It actually didn't.
Everybody dies.
No. What happened was that snake wrapped around that bird and held it on the ground, and like it was going to eat it, but it was already so full from eating that snake from that bird's children that it was too full, and after 20 minutes, it let it go.
Oh, really? I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
Gotta
read the captions too.
Thought it killed the mama bird.
The whole story.
The point is,
that's a horrible existence. It's terrifying.
We tend to think, well, that's look at the beautiful robin. I want to be a bluebird. No, you don't. Man, think a little deeper. Ever see a bird at a bird feeder? They're looking over their shoulder constantly. There's always trying.
Deer, you know how they die, Raghunath? Starvation, freezing in the winter.
Well, yeah.
Or some other animal comes along.
We killed all the predators, so now there's just hunters and cars. That's how deer die nowadays.
I'm not pro hunting, but if I were a deer, I'd rather get shot and killed than die of starvation in the cold.
Yeah. I mean, all you got to do is follow nature is metal, and you'll realize I don't want to be taking birth as a human. Here's the deal. You don't want to be taking birth as a human either. Humans are horrible. Okay. Humans are maybe the worst. They're worse than animals.
Good morning.
We'll do any. It's good morning with wisdom of the sages.
Okay, so human life is the juncture. He hit this juncture point where you can choose, you can determine where you're going to go. You could get liberated. You could go to the heavenly planets.
What do you say we just go back to Krishna and leave this world of birth and death? And
Well, you see, what happened was, and maybe we do this tomorrow, Raghunath, but he hit that juncture. Look over here, Raghunath. Over here. Over here.
The
Thank you.
chicken's back, someone said. Is that an old text message?
There's no more chicken in the
Okay,
house.
the chicken's gone. Okay.
So he's saying, he's setting him, he's framing his teaching. He's framing his message like a brilliant speaker. This guy lying on the ground here, right?
Yeah.
And he's saying,
he's like a TED talk going on with the python.
Yeah, he's lying exactly.
Imagine that, a TED talk, and the guy's just
lying on the ground. That'd be awesome. And they come in, they just kind of drop him, and then put the microphone.
Rolls in. I'm just staying here. Please, here. He won't even use the microphone unless you give him the microphone.
For our next speaker, we don't know his name. We just call him the Python guy.
The python.
But we believe he's onto something. And then he says, I was going through species after species in this, chain of birth and death based on my previous choices. My fruitive activities have been going up and down. And then I reached the human form of life where I had the choice to determine whether I'd be born next as an animal, or whether I'd go to the heavenly planets, or whether I'd be liberated or take birth as a human again. I reached that stage. And then now tomorrow where we'll go, he's going to say, then I began to observe, began to look at humans, began to look at how they live, see where it goes, see what they strive for to find happiness, see if it actually delivers it. And I looked closely at it, and then I came to some decisions. And we're going to hear about those decisions tomorrow. It's good stuff, Raghu. It's good stuff.
Cliffhanger.
It's a good cliffhanger.
It's a good cliffhanger. Hey, Mara, what we got here?
What you got, Mara?
Give us some interesting takeaways.
Mara, did you have a good time in we heard about Raghunath? He was obviously had a good time. Did you?
We found this charming vegan pizza place on the way out.
Now you see, now she's got to say whether she felt it was charming, not just
Mara?
you.
It was a great vegan pizza place. But yeah, I had a great time in Vermont.
Just checking. I want to make sure, Raghunath. You got to worry about her too, her experience.
Are you kidding?
All right.
It's all about Mara.
The world doesn't just revolve around you, my friend. Okay.
All right, I got some good takeaways.
All right.
Find positive spiritual accountability.
Find it.
Yes, we started our day with that.
Okay.
You can't snuff out desires, refine and perfect our desires.
Don't
it's a more
snuff
mature spiritual understanding, right? It's not that we're just trying to snuff them. We're trying to re-engage them.
Don't snuff. That could be a takeaway. Don't snuff.
Snuff.
Ever hear a deer snuff?
We remember when we had that nugget that it was from some Native American chief, and he was saying that this whole existence is just the breath of a buffalo on a cold day.
Ooh, that whole material.
Remember that one?
I don't remember that, but that's a great quote.
Yeah.
That's our whole life. And I tell you, now that I'm old, I'm just like, yeah, where did it all go?
It's a buffalo breath, Raghunath.
It's like a buffalo breath.
Buffalo breath sounds like an insult. Hey,
it's like when you're younger, you're like, I got so many hopes and desires and dreams. That's like
now the American buffalo is a very noble, powerful looking creature. You put that up against the Indian buffalo. The Indian buffaloes are a mess.
The Indian buffaloes are silly looking.
Vinjavali, she knows. She's like, oh, it's true. They
Indian
got one horn like going
they're
this
drunk.
way. They got another horn going that way.
They're like drunk and they're drooling and
their hair is just kind of patchy all over. They're really they're always drooling that foam. Oh man,
we're buffalo breath from Omaha.
But that American buffalo, whew.
American buffalo are noble,
powerful, very powerful.
I like these videos where people are trying to videotape them in Yosemite and they just get thrown.
Stay away from the
come
buffalo.
on, you dumb. People are so dumb. I'm just gonna pet a buffalo. Cut it out.
All right, back to Mara.
All right. You can make everything an asset for your reformation.
Oh, nice. It's all an asset when you look at it, right?
Yeah.
Knowledge.
We're gonna still like buffalo.
They got a buffalo nickels right now. Go.
Knowledge descends.
Knowledge descends.
Simple. There's a tattoo for your neck tattoo right there. Knowledge descends.
We're living in a hope to enjoy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Refine your choices for your body tomorrow and in the next life.
Okay.
Refine your body.
Seek the blessings of Vaishnavas at important forks in the road.
Very important.
Eat with a fork.
And has to do with the chicken.
No.
No.
You don't want to be reborn as a dove or a deer or a human.
Or a chicken.
Definitely not a chicken. Are you kidding?
Pecking order is like
chicken.
ruthless.
So many chickens have so many predators.
Tell me about the pecking order.
I was teaching guinea fowl are at the top of the pecking order. Geese are at the top of the pecking order. But I was teaching yoga a private in upstate New York once. And I had chickens just roaming around. I saw a hawk come down, pick up a chicken, and fly away with it.
Oh. See? You see people?
You
Listen
gotta watch you gotta watch foxes. The chickens are always, you don't even know what's coming around the corner.
Raghunath, why don't you do a nature is meddled, scared straight kind of like Instagram
Scared straight, don't be an animal.
Yeah, like you could just find all these like crazy, horrible animal things going on and just like
put everybody
rant.
in anxiety.
And just rant.
Get rid of the anxiety. Chant the holy name.
Yeah, that could be your thing, just like that guy with the hard hat that's just like looking around at all this stuff. That could be your thing, like ranting.
Looking around.
That guy's great.
Oh, everybody. All right, well, we're going to see you in LA. A lot of people are coming to LA. We got a big little crowd going on in LA.
All right, is it picking up?
Yeah, it's picking up. It's picking up. We're going to have fun at Rathayatra in LA.
Did you reach out to some of the people down there? We could discuss that.
Huh?
Yeah, you forgot all about it. You got to reach out to people like Dharma.
Well, I reached out to Dharma, yeah. Anyway, here's the deal. We're going to be in LA soon for LA Rathayatra. That's going to be fun, doing shows live from LA Rathayatra. Tell some more Jagannath stories. Kirtan Friday night all day with me, Maren Kastuba, on Saturday. Rathayatra on Sunday. That is the, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of August. And, yeah, looking forward to that.